Yeah, any convulsions or whatever, immediately discontinue your use and consult your physician before resuming play. So just go to your doctor and be like, I felt sick. I played a video game and I felt sick and it made me feel terrible. Can you fix me so I can play more of the video game? Please. Please, doctor. I need to play Assassin's Creed, but when I play it, I feel sick. You need to fix me so I can play some more Assassin's Creed. Help me, doctor. And that's what you do. Okay? And they'll fix you right up, and you'll be playing more Assassin's Creed in no time. Don't think that just because you're getting sick and stuff like that, you should maybe stop playing the game. Don't do that. Do stop playing the game just to see your doctor, and they'll fix you so you can go back and play the game some more. Don't think that you should just stop playing the game. Smoke bombs create a thick cloud, providing you with cover to attack or escape. That's right. And that's why I said it. I'm Sean Hastings. Press L1 to climb onto the roof while driving. Your horse will keep following the road because your horse is very smart. A horse is a horse, of course. Unless, of course, your horse is the valuable Mr. Ed. I don't know the song that well. You can fast travel to the train, hideout, or any synchronized viewpoints from the map screen. I think it wasn't a separate thing. The hideout is a train hideout. Press circle when close to an alarm bell to sabotage it. But sometimes it won't work because the game is fucked up. It read that. I don't know if you saw that, but it did say that in the words. I wasn't making that part up. Okay, so there's some level 3 stuff I think around. I can just go on and do some level 4 stuff now. Cause it's like let's look at the missions. Gang upgrades. No, progression log. Conquest activities. Bounty hunts. Okay, yeah, there should be some level 3 bounty hunts around. Mildred Graves, Jesse Butler. And that's it. What about child liberations? Nope, they're all advanced. They're almost all done. We almost did all the child liberations, which is cool. It means we can stop soon. Yeah, I think the chief stuff is gone now. Gang strongholds are all pretty big. Templar hunts. Fletchers. The Fletchers are level 3. And the Jekyll brothers, they're level 3. We got some level 4s. And the level 2 is done already. Gang Wars. The only one we've completed is Whitechapel. Anything new in the Templar conspiracy? Oh, John Elliotson. Let's have a look. He's our next target. Target bio. The son of a chemist and apothecary, John Elliotson attended Jesus College at Cambridge, which might explain his panache as a prophet. Unfortunately, he chose mesmerism to preach. Forget the Virgin Mary. He cavorted around with mesmerized twin sisters whom he believed could see diseases inside of others. They sound fun. Suffice to say, he was not long for respected medicine, which, might I add, at that time, thought leeches were surgical instruments. One had to try really hard to be outside that box of horrors. Although he tried to weather the bumps with phrenology, Elliotson's practice declined until he was virtually penniless, at which point Mr. Starrick approached him with an offer he couldn't refuse. And he made the Starrick Soothing Elixir. Sounds like a pawn in the Templars game. The pawn we're going to kill. Lambeth, secret number 8. On the lordly lofts of Bedlam, with stubble soft and dainty, brave bracelets, strong sweet whips, ding-dong, with wholesome hunger plenty. Very nice. Perks. I don't know. I seem to have gotten some kind of a new perk. Slightly increases your overall damage. I think that's all it is. Inventory. New weapons to look at. New belts. Not even a new belt. It's just the same old one. And fake new outfits. Put in a gunslinger coat. Increases firearm damage by 10%. That's pretty cool. More importantly, it looks better than his ratty old Simply Jacob outfit. He's not even using... Yeah, let's use this. Yeah, something a little different. And we've worn color blue for a while. We've seen teal. Let's go with some green. Just like the outfits we've been wearing. Just like our gang color is green, so it makes sense to wear green like our team. Like the Rooks. I forgot the Rooks are. Database. Encyclopedia. People. Other people. Richard Owen. Date of birth, the 20th of July, 1804. Sir Richard Owen never learned natural history. In school growing up. He never learned it in school growing up, which may have been his first mistake in life. He studied to become a surgeon at the University of Edinburgh, found work at Hunterium Museum cataloging plant and animal specimens, and was elected to the research arm of the Zoological Society of London in 1830. He was the youngest and most active member of the group, by which I mean he did lots of work, not that he was a jogger. By the middle of the 19th century, scientists were theorizing about the presence of the divine in natural sciences. Owen threw his hat into the proverbial ring by publishing papers outlining his theory on the origin of Earth's species. In essence, Owen believed that the changes observed in animals occurred as a response to their environment, and that all species not only share a common archetypal ancestor, but that all species are progressing toward an idealized form, with humans already reaching their apex. From apes to apex. That'd make a nice title for my autobiography. Oh, and if that doesn't make a lot of sense to you, don't worry. Owen's contemporaries felt the same way. Owen developed a reputation for overreacting to criticism and responding in anger, crossing the line of acceptable behavior and discourse in the scientific community. This was evident more than ever in his scathing reviews of On the Origin of Species, published by Charles Darwin in 1858. Owen stood by his own theories, even as his contemporaries came to embrace Darwin and natural selection. Feeling alienated from his peers in the field of biology, Owen focused his efforts on, among other things, establishing the Natural History Museum, which he did in 1881. He was knighted 3 years later and promptly retired, which is what I will do when finally the old bird knights me. By the time Owen passed away in 1892, he was remembered for little more than his opposition to Darwinism and his misplaced ego. But before you go knocking him, keep in mind Richard Owen coined the word dinosaur. Let's see you top that. Yeah, he seems pretty cool to me. His theory also is not that different. In my mind, his theory about apes to apex or whatever is not that different from from Darwinism. So You know, he seems like a pretty smart guy. You know, not that different than the theory of evolution in my mind. I can't disprove it. That everyone's reaching for the apex. I don't know about humans being the apex. I guess that's the one place where I differ. I think we're probably still evolving. But, you know, I can't prove it. The Great Fire of London began the 2nd of September, 1666, in Baker's shop on Pudding Lane. 4 days later, the fire had spread throughout the city and consumed over 13,000 buildings. The fire cost the British government £10 million. That's in 17th century currency. In modern currency, the number is too terrifying to imagine. The monument of the Great Fire, commonly referred to as just the monument, was built on the site of St. Margaret's Church, the first of many churches to burn in the fire. The site is just over 200 feet from the baker's shop where the fire began. The monument and the brass orb that sits on top were designed by Christopher Wren and built between 1671 and 1677. Wren had many different ideas for the brass sculpture that would rest on the monument, including a statue of King Charles II, a woman wielding a sword, and his personal favorite, a phoenix triumphantly rising from the flames. How metal. What a shame Christopher Wren didn't live to see an Iron Maiden concert. That's the tragedy no one ever talks about. The monument stands at 202 feet and features a staircase inside it that gives the public access to the top of the column. Gives the public access to the top of the column. The monument's height and accessibility make it a fashionable site for people to commit suicide. Maybe we can commit suicide off it. The government built a mesh cage at the top of the monument in the mid-19th century to curb these suicides. Well, that's a good idea. Present day. Assassin Intel. Data number 12. So far we have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So this might go with that. No, it's a 1 out of 1 Renato Auditore memory. So this is going to be self-enclosed, I think. It'll just all be one thing. A myth become Auditore is Italian, Monteriggioni, Italy, so I'll put on my Italian accent. A myth become a miracle. The holy winding sheet has arrived, freshly plucked from Templar hands in France. I do not want to look at the thing, but I must confirm for myself. I meet my brothers in the villa. My brothers tell me that the shroud's owner, Geoffrey de Charny, suspects nothing. We have paid many men and women a fortune to replace the shroud with an intricate replica, to remove this burden from history. I can feel something. The monument is lifted from its box. Evil, a sickness in my belly. I begin to take my notes. A man's shape has burned into the shroud, arms to his side and palms forward. According to the church's records, the visage has changed throughout history. Different men? Who are they? He appears to have been tortured. The fabric itself is yellow, old. It has bloodstains on it, which are to be expected from wounds such as these. Satisfied that we possess what we had sought, we folded the shroud and put it back in this box. I hear words faint in my mind. One might mistake them for spirits, but for me they simply reinforce the importance of my task. What better place than our walled city to hide such abominations from all mankind? My accent's terrible. We will bury it deep and set up measures to ensure that it remains hidden. We will burn the church records and send claims of a fraud to our religious leaders. Who would know it's a fraud better than ones who forged it? Renato Auditore, son of Domenico and Isabella. Oh, well, this is Sean. Renato Auditore, son of Domenico and Isabella, was a pretty forgettable assassin, although he was largely responsible for turning Monteriggioni into an assassin stronghold. The Auditore family only really gets interesting with Renato's grandsons, Mario and Giovanni. Right. Those are Ezio's father and uncle. Mario and Giovanni Mario. And their third brother, Luigi Mario. Auditore. So, alright. That was a lot of reading. Oh, we're ready to craft. Throwing knife upgrade to... all this crap we're ready to craft. Throwing knife upgrade, medium bullet pouch, large knife pouch, medium medicine pouch, medicine efficiency. We're ready to craft all that crap. I'm getting craft the shit out of that crap. Alright, well, that was good. We did a lot of reading. Save the video clip.